You know you've reached peak laziness when even the idea of doing nothing seems like too much work. Ah, the art of laziness. It's a delicate dance, a finely tuned balance between doing just enough to get by and doing absolutely nothing at all. Picture this, a person so lazy that they started a joke and then, well, they just couldn't be bothered to finish it. You might be chuckling, but let's be honest, we can all relate to a degree, can't we? Laziness is like a cozy, oversized sweater on a chilly day. It's comfortable, it's inviting, and it's oh so hard to resist. And why would you want to resist? After all, laziness has its own unique charm. But what if I told you there are people out there who have taken laziness to a whole new level? People who have fine-tuned the art of doing absolutely nothing to such a degree that it's almost impressive? Now let's meet someone who has turned laziness into an art form. Ladies and gentlemen, meet our protagonist, Mr. Sloth. Not his real name, of course, but it fits him like a glove. Picture a chap wearing pajamas all day, every day. His hair? A wild mop that hasn't seen a comb since the last solar eclipse. He lives in a fortress of unwashed dishes and laundry mountains that could rival Everest. Mr. Sloth considers himself a connoisseur of the fine art of doing nothing. He's the undefeated champion of the couch potato Olympics. His favorite exercise? Blinking. And his second favorite? Well, that'd be yawning. His home? A labyrinth of pizza boxes, a testament to his undying love for takeaway food. His alarm clock? It's been snoozed so many times, it's filed for a restraining order. But don't you dare call him lazy. He prefers the term selectively active. Now that we've met Mr. Sloth, let's take a peek into his daily routine. Rise and shine, Mr. Sloth. Or rather, rise and go back to sleep. Ah, the life of Mr. Sloth, where the snooze button is the best invention since sliced bread. Why rise at the crack of dawn when you can snooze till noon, right? That's Mr. Sloth's philosophy. Now you might think he's late for his day, but according to him, the day is early for him. Breakfast, the most important meal of the day, is a 24/7 open buffet for Mr. Sloth. Leftover pizza from last night, breakfast of champions, a tub of ice cream, just a hearty, dairy-filled bowl of cereal, according to him. Who needs a balanced diet when you have the food pyramid of convenience at your fingertips? Next comes the dreaded house chores. But why would Mr. Sloth, the master of delegation, bother with such menial tasks? His cat is the self-appointed dust manager, rolling around the house collecting dust bunnies. And according to Mr. Sloth, the dishes in the sink are soaking for a good reason. They're practicing their swimming skills, you see. Now, on to work. Well, work is a strong word. Mr. Sloth prefers to call it his creative procrastination period. Who can focus on spreadsheets when the next-door neighbor is mowing his lawn in such a distracting manner? And let's not even get started on how the weather, too sunny or too gloomy, is always to blame for his lack of focus. By the time evening rolls around, Mr. Sloth is worn out. It's not easy spending the whole day dodging responsibilities like a ninja, you know. So, he treats himself to some well-deserved rest, preparing for another day of dedicated laziness. After all, it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. And that, my friends, is a typical day in the life of Mr. Sloth. If there's one thing Mr. Sloth excels at, it's manufacturing excuses. He's a veritable Henry Ford of slothfulness, churning out laziness justifications faster than you can say couch potato. You see, Mr. Sloth has an excuse for everything. His favorite one? I can't exercise today because the gravitational pull is particularly strong. Yes, folks, he actually blames gravity for his inactivity. Or how about this gem? I can't clean up because the dust bunnies have formed a union and are demanding better working conditions. Oh, and let's not forget the classic, I can't cook dinner because the vegetables are in the witness protection program. You know, for a guy who spends most of his time doing nothing, he sure has a knack for coming up with the most creative excuses. But hey, maybe we should give him some credit. After all, thinking up these excuses must be exhausting work. Mr. Sloth could definitely give a masterclass in excuse making. So, do you have a Mr. Sloth in your life? Or maybe you're a Mr. Sloth yourself? We've all been there, haven't we? One minute we're ready to conquer the world, the next we're debating if it's absolutely necessary to get off the couch for sustenance. Now, here's the fun part. We've heard from Mr. Sloth and his ingenious excuse factory, but what about you? What's the funniest or most ridiculous excuse you've ever come up with to avoid doing something? Was it a sudden case of alien abduction or an unexpected invitation to tea with the Queen? Share your best lazy moments or excuses in the comments. We could all use a good laugh, and who knows, your comment might inspire the next Mr. Sloth adventure. While you're at it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You wouldn't want to miss out on more hilarious content, would you? Remember, even Mr. Sloth managed to hit the subscribe button, so you have no excuse. Until next time, stay lazy, my friends.